कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यामुनतिरावनचारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यामुनतिरावनचारी Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. We are reading from Canto 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam, Shloka number 38, 1538. Iti murti abhidanena mantramurtim amurtikam yajate yajna purusham sa samyak darshana puman. Iti murti abhidanena mantramurtim amurtikam yajate yajna purusham sa samyak darshana puman. Iti murti abhidanena mantramurtim amurtikam yajate yajna purusham sa samyak darshana puman. Iti murti abhidanena mantramurtim amurtikam yajate yajna purusham sa samyak darshana puman. Iti murti abhidanena mantramurtim amurtikam yajate yajna purusham sa samyak darshana puman. Iti murti abhidanena mantramurtim amurtikam yajate yajna purusham sa samyak darshana puman. Okay, word to word meaning. Iti, thus, murti, representation, abhidanena, in sound, mantramurtim, from a form representation of transcendental sound, amurtikam, the Lord who has no material form, yajate, worship, yajna, Vishnu, Purusham, the personality of Godhead, Saha, he alone, Samyak, perfectly, Darshanaha, one who has seen, Puman, person. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thus he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who has no material form. Purport. Our present senses are all made of material elements, and therefore they are imperfect in realizing the transcendental form of Lord Vishnu. He is therefore worshipped by sound representation via the transcendental method of chanting. Anything which is beyond the scope of experience by our imperfect senses can be realized fully by the sound representation. A person transmitting sound from a far distant place can be factually experienced. If this is materially possible, why not spiritually? This experience is not a vague, impersonal experience. It is actually an experience of the transcendental personality of Godhead, who possesses the pure form of eternity, bliss and knowledge. In the Amar Kosha Sanskrit dictionary, the word murti carries import in twofold meaning, namely form and difficulty. Therefore, amurtikam is explained by Acharya Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as meaning without difficulty. The transcendental form of eternal bliss and knowledge can be experienced by our original spiritual senses, which can be revived by chanting of the holy mantras or transcendental sound representations. Such sound should be received from the transparent agency of the bona fide spiritual master, and the chanting may be practiced by the direction of the spiritual master. That will gradually lead us nearer to the Lord. This method of worship is recommended in the Pancharatrika system, which is both recognized and authorized. The Pancharatrika system has the most authorized codes for transcendental devotional service. Without the help of such codes, one cannot approach the Lord, certainly not by dry philosophical speculation. The Pancharatrika system is both practical and suitable for this age of quarrel. The Pancharatra is more important than the Vedanta in this modern age. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guraho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it's a very nice shloka. So morning, we read in the this one, Namamrita. So the Namamrita, the translation of this shloka and then the purport of the next shloka was given. So like both of them are quite an amazing, shlokas. So we will study that also. So we will not study all aspects of these two shlokas, but certain very important aspects, we will actually study. So when nice thing that we can see here in the translation it is mentioned, thus he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who has no material form. So here it's a nice point is mentioned that the seer, one who is actually taking darshan, one who is actually seeing the form of the Lord. Who is the person who is actually seeing the form of the Lord? Who is actually able to access the Lord in the form of sound representation. And then here in the purport it is mentioned that our material senses, na bhaved grahyam indriyai, the same thing is mentioned. Ata Shri Krishna namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai. So our present senses are all made of material elements and therefore they are imperfect in realizing the transcendental form of Lord Vishnu. So the problem in hand is Lord Vishnu is spiritual. No, we want to attain Krishna, we want to get closer to Krishna, and Krishna is fully spiritual and we have material senses. So incompatibility. No, there is no proper instrument that I have to access the spiritual spiritual elements. So that's a first fault that we have actually, or disqualification that we have. So he is therefore worshipped by sound vibration via transcendental method of chanting. So if that is a disqualification, so then this is also an engagement of the sense. Like the ear is also a sense that is made of material elements. So then how do we say like this logic doesn't hold? So no, you have material element and then material senses and you have to realize spiritual things. So it is, how is it possible? So anything which is beyond the scope of experience by our imperfect senses can be realized fully by sound representation. A person transmitting sound from a far distant place can be factually experienced. So this is materially possible, why not spiritually? So this is not the complete justification for that. So it is mentioned even materially, like a person who is not about whom like you are not directly in touch with, or directly you are not able to see, from a far distant over a telephone call also, like if we can hear their voice, we can actually feel the connect with them, right? So emotionally we can actually feel the connect with them. So this is there. So this is just solving one side of the problem, that is even a far distant thing, even an object which is inaccessible, so such an object can be experienced by the way of sound vibration. And the aspect of how the Lord can be understood purely by this mechanical means of using a mechanical or material ear. So that is because the Lord has made this policy. He will reveal himself through this method. It is not because the sound, the ear is so special that it can even go beyond the matter, and it can even get the understanding about the spiritual subject matter, that is Krishna. So that is not possible. Ear doesn't have the capacity. It's Krishna who mercifully reveals himself unto the living entity. And he chose this process of revealing himself in the form of sound vibration. So like some years back during Janmashtami, we had this seminar, right? It's like, how can Krishna appear? Like Hari Parshad Pavad, when I don't know, I forgot the topic of this one. So there is a specific time in which Krishna actually makes his physical appearance. So there, Prabhupada actually makes this point that sun is always there. Sun is always there, but sometimes the sun is visible in the horizon. So in the same way, Krishna is always there, but when he will be appearing, when we will be able to have, when we will be able to see him face to face, so it is possible to see him only when he makes his appearance. That is once in a day of Brahma. So when he makes his appearance, then only we can see him. So then there is one pastime is there, like of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has gone to Vrindavan with Balabhadra Bhattacharya, right? Balabhadra Bhattacharya. And then there was a rumor that was spreading that Krishna has come in Yamuna and he is doing Kalya Leela. So everybody are and every night this is happening, so everybody are going. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya asked to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna is coming and he is doing Kalya Leela, can I go and see? Krishna could better, and to him you are asking such a question. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, Krishna doesn't appear at this point in time. If you are so eager, you go and see. And then he goes and sees, and then he says there was Krishna was there, and distant we could able to see the light and hoods of Kaliya and all those things. So then after some time, after 2-3 days, they got to know it was a fisherman who was going out to fish in the night. So because it was I don't know, some reason he goes and doing his fishing in the night. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells this. You see, you cannot just get Krishna anytime. You cannot have the physical darshan of Krishna anytime and every time. It is not possible. He comes in a scheduled period of time, right? So it's a very important thing, that visibility, vision, how we access Krishna. So how he agrees to unfold himself, how he agrees to give us darshan. In that way we have to take darshan. We cannot demand Krishna people that time they saw you, now also they can, I can see you, it is not possible. Krishna has agreed to reveal himself in the form of, here Prabhupada is talking a lot about Pancharatrika system, the deity worship, deity form of the Lord is a way Krishna has agreed to manifest himself in front of us. And the holy name, the Lord has agreed to manifest himself in the form of holy name. So this is a way to access the Supreme Lord. It is a very essential thing. And this experience is not vague, impersonal experience. So sometimes devotees have this one also. You see darshan of the Lord, nicely decorated what is a turban and clothes and ornaments and things like that. This is personal, and the concentration on sound vibration is impersonal. No, so no, it is not like that. So that is a very important thing that is mentioned. This experience is not a vague impersonal experience. It is an actual experience of the transcendental personality of Godhead, who possesses the pure form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. So this sound vibration, this mantra murtim, like that, the form, it's a murti that is mentioned, just like Sachidananda Vigraha, like it is mentioned. The same way, this is mantra murti, like the holy name of the Lord is Sachidananda Vigraha. It is like eternity, knowledge, and bliss. It is a form of the Lord which is capable of exchanging, which is capable of giving us a complete experience of the Supreme Lord. So we should not think that, okay, like Kali Yuga, like we are means not very qualified, तो like आंखों में दिखाई नहीं पड़ता है, तो like कान में खाली सुनना पड़ेगा. It is like something what is that, cheap में like ठीक है, like कुछ भी नहीं है तो ये ले लो, ऐसा सस्ते में दे दिया. It is not like that. It is perfect form of the Lord. We cannot tell that, okay, this form of the Lord, ये कमजोर मूर्ति है. ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते हैं. So the Lord is Lord. The Lord is fully perfect. And then it is mentioned Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. So the Lord, in the form of the holy name, especially the Hare Krishna mantra that we chant. So it is the Premadana, it is the highest treasure, which is there even in the spiritual world, that is mentioned. So in this way we see that, this name of the Lord is not a cheap form of the Lord, or it is not a substandard form of the Lord. Lord cannot have something like that. The Lord's form is always of high standard only. There is no way we can have a substandard form of the Lord, right? So in that way, like it is not a discount, or it is not some this one. Like it is a very perfect experience that we can have, in the form of chanting the names of the Lord, right? A complete experience. So this is a darshan of the Lord. That's a very important principle. And then next sloka, imam swa nigamam brahman avetya mad anushtitam adan me jnanam aishwaryam swasmin bhavam cha keshavah. O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in confidential parts of the Vedas, then with the spiritual opulence, and then with his intimate loving service. So now we see here also very amazing, this one is mentioned. Communion with the Lord by transmission of transcendental sound is non-different from the whole spirit Lord Sri Krishna. It is not like some portion, or it is not some discounted thing or something like that. It is perfectly Krishna in complete. So it is a complete perfect method of approaching the Lord. By such pure contact with the Lord, without offense of material conception numbering 10, the devotee can rise above the material plane to understand the inner meaning of the Vedic literatures, including the Lord's existence in the transcendental realm. So now we see that the form of the Lord is in the form of transcendental sound vibration. And what is it that can actually obstruct us from having darshan of the Lord? So the obstruction is that the material conceptions, or that is called as the offenses. So here it is a very nice definition of the offenses is given. So what is offense means what? Seeing something spiritual as material. And like in that way, like what is is there something material like that, and something spiritual and something material? No, everything that exists is spiritual only. Everything, sarvam kala vidam brahma. Everything that exists is spiritual only. Why we say that? Because the Lord is spiritual. He is the original spirit soul, spiritual entity, and everything that exists is nothing but his part and parcel, or his energies. How can the spirit can have matter as his energy? Everything that exists is Brahman only. Everything that exists is spirit. So idam he Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetara. Like once in our Bhagavatam, this one purport, like Prabhupada actually cited that thing, and that is also in Bhagavatam only, I think. So like Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So everything that exists is Krishna and Krishna's energies, and it's all completely spiritual. So then when we have such a conception, So then we are free from offenses. No? So when we have such an experience, then we are free from offenses. So that is a very, very essential thing. No? Until unless the Lord reveals, it's a catch-22 kind of a situation, right? So no, like if I have material conception, it is considered to be offense. And if you are offensive, you cannot have the darshan of the Lord. And how can you be free from the offense? When you have the spiritual vision, and spiritual vision can only be awarded by the Lord. So like, where is the thing, like, so only if the Lord awards me the vision, then I can have a spiritual vision. No, then I can avoid offenses. With the material vision, material conception, I can only be offensive. I cannot be spiritual. No, I cannot have any spiritual vision at all. So it may look like a catch-22 situation, but it is not. Wherein the Acharyas have given us the proper engagements even during the situation, even during the time when we are offensive. So it is not that we are having offensive mentality means we are disqualified for devotional service. No. So a person with offensive mentality is offered certain services, offered certain services in Krishna consciousness. Just like having prasadam and then having a regulated lifestyle, and even with offenses, chanting, all these things are there. So when we do this thing, this is Krishna's unlimited mercy, that he allows us to approach him, even in that state, even in a contaminated state. So then when we do service and when we offer prayers to the Lord, and then the Lord becomes pleased, so he reveals. And when he reveals, gradually, we will become free from the offenses because of the spiritual revelations, and then we will rise above the material plane and understand. So here it's also mentioned, understand the inner meaning of Vedic literatures. So it is not some we are trying to understand Krishna and we have to understand through the holy name, and suddenly it is talking about understanding the meaning of Vedic literatures. So what is this Vedic literatures? Vedic literatures is also not different from Krishna, right? So what does Krishna says? Vedesh sarva ahameva vedyah vedanta krit veda videva chaham. So of all the Vedas, I am to be known. The Lord is the one to be known. So, and that is why Prabhupada is qualifying this statement further. By doing this, by properly avoiding the offenses and having a pure connect with the Supreme Lord in the form of the holy name, so we will be able to understand the inner meaning of the Vedic literatures. So there are people, scholars, who are trying to study the Vedic literatures and trying to understand, and they'll not be able to make head or tail of it. So Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, right? So it is very, very secretive. Why it is secretive? Because the password is the Lord has to reveal. That is the password. So hum kuch bhi kare, till the time the Lord reveals, we cannot understand. We can hear hours and hours of class. We can try to study the books for hours and hours, and we can try to memorize and we can try to master. But until unless the Lord reveals, kuch nahi milne wala hai. So it is very, very important. And that is why humility is a very, very important principle in the progress. So amani namanadena kirtaniya sadahari. Why? Because the Lord, it is all about his revelation. And all that we possess as devotional qualities, as spiritual understanding, is nothing but the gift of the Lord. So in front of the Lord, if I go and say, देखो मैं तुमको इतना समझ लिया, तो भगवान खींच लेते हैं, क्या समझा देखेंगे अभी, everything becomes zero, right? So with pride we cannot approach the Lord, because everything that we possess is just a gift of the Lord. And the moment we become proud, भगवान उठा के बोलता है अभी बताओ, अभी क्या पता तुमको. So in that way, the Lord can just remove the spiritual understanding, cover the spiritual understanding, because this spiritual understanding is just a gift of the Lord, right? So that is the secret. That is the Rajaguhyam. That is a password with which this whole thing is protected. The transcendental knowledge is protected. So that is why the humility in the whole process is very essential. More a person able to understand the Lord, the more the devotee becomes yes, this is a gift that you have offered me. I am very grateful to you. And when we maintain the attitude of gratefulness, then the Lord supplies more understanding. He allows us to enter more deeper into the spiritual understanding. And then we understand more and we develop more gratitude, saying Already like whatever understanding I got, that itself is too much, and now you have given me more. Like, how can I be ever be able to repay this thing to you? So you're giving me more and more understanding about yourself. You are giving me more and more experience of yourself. That's like very great treasure for a devotee, right? And he becomes more humble, and then the Lord provides more the knowledge. So this is how the cycle of understanding the Lord actually progresses. And the first thing in that is the first ever experience of the Lord is like when we avoid this material conceptions numbering 10. And it is not an impractical thing, it is a practical thing. Soon we will be coming up with this seminar on this aspect of the Harinam Chintamani, where we will see that like how practical is that to avoid the 10 offenses, and then how practical it is to chant the names of the Lord. So, the greatest thing is the Lord in the form of the holy name is so very powerful. The Lord in any form is so very powerful. And the only thing, and today morning, like we were discussing this aspect also, like Prahlad Maharaj is telling that how he gets attracted to Krishna, like just like the magnet getting attracted to Krishna. So, but if there is a rust in the magnet, so then the magnet cannot get attracted. So in the discussion, one devotee was telling, so like only a magnetic element can get attracted to Krishna, wood cannot get attracted to Krishna. So, but then immediately like we just interrupted and said like, no, this is not the philosophy that we are talking about. There is no wood existing in the whole equation. Why? Because Krishna is there and the living entities are there. And living entities are by nature, they are naturally attracted to Krishna. So like naturally they are supposed to be attracted to Krishna. There is only iron in the creation. If Krishna is magnet, so then there is only iron in the creation, there is no wood in the creation. There is no entity that is created without magnetic properties. It is not like without getting attraction to Krishna, it is not possible. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadhya Kabunai, right? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayodai. So in many of the discussions, conversations like morning walks and all, Prabhupada is asking like, the devotees are asking Prabhupada that, okay, like, this is Varnashram and all those things, like I was just studying about that, and in that like devotees are asking, okay, for non-devotees, for some scenario where like this person, this particular thing will not work in this particular case, is non-devotee, then Prabhupada, no, who's non-devotee? Everybody devotee only. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadhya Kabunai. So the Krishna Bhakti is there in everyone's heart. It just have to be Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayodai. So it just have to be cultured, trained, and brought about. That's all. So like सब कुछ है, हमारा commodity already है. उसको just निकालना है उतना ही. So like it is a different kind of a marketing. People actually take the commodity and go and sell. Our this is like हम लोग market करना है. So like what have you come to market? So we have come to market Krishna Prem, and where it is there in your heart. Like so कुछ देने के लिए कुछ नहीं आया, like अभी थोड़ा जम गया, उसको निकालने के लिए आए. Right? So it is like the concept is very different actually. So the commodity that we are trying to sell is already with the customer. We just have to remove some little dust and take it out. So that is a commodity that we are selling. So in that way, it is the attraction towards the Lord and the living entity is for sure it is there. And only thing that is stopping the living entity from getting attracted to Krishna is this material conception or the offenses. And if we can avoid these offenses and chant the names of the Lord, so then naturally the attraction towards the Lord actually comes. And this is sometimes like it is asked about like how will we continue Krishna consciousness, and how will we what is the thing that is driving force in Krishna consciousness? So this is the driving force in Krishna consciousness, that is like experience of the Lord. So so if this experience of the Lord is there in the form of the sound vibration, so then the devotee can continue on. Like he will get the security, he will get the insurance, he will get confidence, सब कुछ आएगा. But this experience is lacking. So then always there is going to be a doubt. will Krishna take care of me? Will Krishna exist at all? So many things are happening. What is Krishna doing? So like all these questions come because like वो कृष्ण के साथ connect नहीं हो पा रहा है. So when कृष्ण के साथ connect होता है, so then immediately we'll have faith. Okay, fine. This person exists, and कुछ ना कुछ तो करेंगे वो. So like that. So that confidence actually it comes, and also preaching becomes easier. Preaching what we are trying to preach, like we are trying to preach about Krishna and attraction towards Krishna. And if we are able to have some connect with Krishna, at least a little bit of connect with Krishna, then we know that, okay, like the person about whom we are preaching about, he exists, otherwise it becomes a very big tragedy, So, like we are trying to convince about something, like we are asked to sell a product and then we are talking about the product. A product का demo मिलेगा? मैं खुद ही नहीं देखा है प्रोडक्ट. सो लाइक तो एंड देन आप बोल रहे हैं ऐसा काम करता है, लाइक ऐसा ही काम करता है क्या? कभी देखा नहीं है. So then it becomes very difficult to explain about that product. So we cannot sell such a product actually. So it is very essential that when we distribute Krishna consciousness, like we have an experience of the product and we can show some demo of the product. So then the sales will be like little better in that way. So with this I just pause the discussion. Any comments, questions or discussions on this you can have. It's a very practical thing and very essential thing in our day to day. This one. Every day we reserve 2 hours of time for this process of chanting. So and more we become like better in this, so more we can sustain throughout our life as a devotee.
So I had one question. So the anarthas that we have got, the 6 anarthas, so they are the ones who create the material conception, or is it something else?
This is just different dressings that are there. This anathas, like that is just different dressings of the material nature. So sometimes we call it as 3 modes of nature, sometimes we call it as 6 anarthas, and sometimes we call it as 10 in number, the 10 offenses. Like this is like different ways in which like we can actually put the modes of nature. So effectively it is the modes of nature that is actually covering us. And mamevaya prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. We can understand this in a very simple form. So this has like many layers of understanding actually. So and how does the Lord get for example the other aspect of this maya me tam tarantita, the Lord reveals himself. It is not actually the Lord reveals himself. The Lord, we render service to the Lord, and when the Lord becomes pleased, the internal energy of the Lord, Srimati Radharani, she reveals the Lord to us. But we say like, okay, Lord reveals himself. So it's some kind of a abstraction actually. So and in the same way, like we say that okay, overcoming anarthas, overcoming the offenses and things like that. So there are certain things that we are expected to do, and there are certain things which only the Lord can remove. So what we are expected to do is given as the practical steps. These things you should not do. You should not blaspheme a devotee. You should not see these certain aspects like this. And even that, to achieve, it is mentioned that like we need to, if we are understanding that we are stuck with this offense, how to actually remove that particular offense. So again, we have to go and pray to the Lord that I am stuck with this offense. It is only by your mercy, you can take me out of this. And then the Lord actually takes us out of that particular offensive this one zone. So in this way, like this, I don't know the intricacies of this, like which comes from which. Definitely there is some, this ones are there. But one simple solution I know, wherever we are stuck, it is not possible for us to get out of it. We have to pray to the Lord and He will remove us and keep us out. That much is like for sure. So, and this is the abstraction. Like, we are stuck with the control of the Maya. And like when we surrender to Krishna, and Krishna can take us out of Maya. And then there are so many things are there, like, the whole topic of Srimati Radharani is like, we are not very much educated on that. So, but this very simple thing is that if we are trying to render service to the spiritual master and Krishna, and like if Krishna becomes pleased with that, so then it is the Radharani who is actually helping the living entity to progress and things like that. So like even with abstraction, kam chal raha hai. Even with abstraction, that the essential thing that actually drives is that the sincere attitude of service towards the towards the spiritual master and Guru Parampara and Krishna, and willingness to follow the instructions that is coming in the Guru Parampara, and then eagerness to get out of the troubles that are there, understanding these are all the problems that the spiritual master and the scriptures they are telling, these are the essential problems that we are stuck in, and if we find ourselves stuck in these problems, then we should pray to them, and they will take us out of this one. It's like the basic essential aspect, which comes from which I'm not very sure of that particular thing.
Prabhuji, how to see everything spiritual, Prabhuji? Like we know that difference between matter and spirit, that matter perishes along with time, and it goes through the 6 phases like transformation, and one day it will, if we consider some living being, one day he will die or something. So body ends there, and even we consider any material thing in this world, it perishes with the time. And if you see, whatever we connect with Krishna, it will become spiritual, as Prabhupada used to tell many times. If you offer food to Krishna, it becomes spiritualized and it is called prasadam. If you see normal food, it is produced through earth, and it is like matter only. It will spoils after some time, like kind of. We know that Krishna is present in each and every atom, and he is present in every living being as Paramatma also. And we know that matter perishes along with time also, and he is present in this atom also. But you told everything is spiritual and nothing exists, because Krishna himself is spiritual. He only told in Bhagavad Gita that everything emanates from me only. How does both contradictions, how to resolve this and understand everything is spiritual? Can you please make my understanding?
So, material means your question is very nice. That perishable thing, how can we call a perishable thing as a spirit? How can we see a perishable thing as a spiritual thing? Spiritual means Satchitananda. Spiritual means there is no extinction of things. Essentially speaking, there is no extinction of anything. The living entity continue to exist, the material nature also continue to exist. What actually perishes is the temporary forms that are made, and that we think it's an entity. It is not actually an entity, it is just a transformation of matter to show us different forms. So that is not an entity at all. So only the temporary forms that perishes, and understanding that temporary form to be a meaningful entity is the Maya, actually. That is the Maya. That is the material vision, actually. But essentially speaking, the sum total of material nature, Mahatattva or the Pradhan or the ingredients which are there, it is a static entity, and it is Krishna's energy, and it can never perish. Matter can never perish. Like what is that Newton's law?
Energy will be transformed from another form. It cannot be destroyed, or it cannot be created.
It's a spiritual topic, actually. It's a very amazing spiritual topic. It's a spiritual topic because this is the identification that it is something permanent, it is indestructible, right? It's an amazing spiritual conclusion, actually, this particular thing. So that's what we are trying to mention, that everything that exists is Krishna's energy, and Krishna's energy, there is no this one. Everything is permanent. There is nothing temporary in the whole creation. Only thing is that forms that the material nature takes, that is temporary and that will perish. And the devotee, that is why a devotee's vision, he doesn't see the temporary forms. He says, okay, fine, this is a transformation, it will keep transforming. He doesn't attach a meaning to that, or he doesn't conceive himself or convince himself that this is an entity. He doesn't give that status of entity for that. He just gives it a status like a clay model is there. No, you make children make so many different dolls out of clay, and then the building blocks and so many different buildings. We don't give any meaning to it. This is a building and this has some registration and things like that. We don't give so much meaning to it. So it can be anytime broken and anytime done something else. We don't attach a meaning of an entity to that particular this one. It is just a no. It is not given that kind of a this one. So that when we have that kind of a vision, and that is possible only by the grace of the Lord. That's possible only by the grace of the Lord. So when we spiritually get advanced, we will be able to see that Stavara Jangama Deke, Na Deke Taramurti, Sarvatra Deke Ishtadeva Spurti. So that everywhere we see that it is, we'll be able to see only Lord or Lord's energies. So we will not be able to see something different from the Lord, having a meaningful entity. So it is can be conceived as a meaningful entity. So that vision will cease to exist. That means the spiritual advancement has happened. It exists for eternity.
Because something is made in the mother's womb, mixture of blood, bile, and other things, flesh happened, and because soul entry terminates, and again acid or either burnt, so it will again transform body. So matter exists as it is, and
Living entity also exists as it is. No, only we are stuck in this matter because we have this enviousness towards the Supreme Lord, or that is the only thing that is actually.
for our enjoying mentality, we are able to see that as a form and
Yeah.
trusting completely.
Yeah. So like this Karaya Uday, when the spiritual consciousness arises, so we will stop seeing things as meant for our enjoyment, and we'll start seeing things as part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is my master, I am his servant. So if everything is part and parcel of Krishna, everything is worthy of rendering service to, like that. So the whole mood of this one actually changes. The exploitative mentality changes to service attitude. That means like we are able to have darshan of Krishna. More and more we are able to experience Krishna, more the service attitude actually comes. We are able to see that everything is part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna is my master. Then I must render service to this particular part. So then the natural this one of service attitude actually starts. Next.
Questions?
Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.